My name's Adam, and I'm an artist out of northern Wisconsin. Currently, there is just so many tattoo stencil printers being made right now, and it is a hard choice to pick which one is the best. And there's so many different types of printers. There's the inkjet printers, the thermofax printers, this printer right here that everyone got off of Amazon that is very, very confusing. I literally had to write the instructions on it. Everyone has one of these. Nobody likes it. They're very confusing. And then there's the very crazy S8 stencil printer made by Brother Printers that's high resolution and really, really cool and all, but it's $700. So I went on the mission to find the best bang for your buck stencil printer on the market. And now I found a stencil printer that is better than all of those printers that I just showed you, and it is called the Stigma Printer, and it's shipped and sold by CNC Tattoo Supplies. You guys might remember last year I did a review on the original Stigma printer, and it was pretty good and all, and I really, really loved it at the time. But now they came out with the new stencil printer, the new Stigma stencil printer, and it's just so much better. This tattoo stencil printer can print in high resolution. You can print any image. It is wireless and it is so simple to use. I'll leave a link to the Stigma tattoo printer down in the video description, and if I find a discount code for this printer, I'll leave that down in the description as well. Now let's do a full unboxing and review on the stencil printer, and then at the end of the video I'll give you my final thoughts on this printer. Let's go. The printer comes in this nice sleek box. On the side of the box, it says it does tattoo printing, graphic printing, document printing, examination paper, and mobile office. Today, we're just going to be testing the tattoo printing capabilities of this printer. Opening up the box, we will receive some literature. And the first thing we got is the user manual. And I don't have to show you guys any of that because we're going to talk about it all in this video. Up next, we got this card in the box just giving us a tip to take off the yellow paper on the stencil paper. That's right, you heard me. I said stencil paper. Because this is technically a thermal stencil printer, it uses thermal stencil paper. I don't know how people get confused on that, but stencil printers take stencil paper. And thankfully, this printer does come with stencil paper, but I still prefer the Spirit Classic Thermal Stencil Paper, and I'll be using this paper for the review. You get this paper right on Amazon. It's like $30 and you get like 100 sheets. And then we got some packaging foam. We got a USB Type-C charger to charge the printer, and we got the printer itself. The printer looks very nice, sleek, and professional. It does not feel cheap and plasticky. It feels very good. This tattoo printer is wireless, and right here it says the battery capacity is 2,500 milliamps. And then right here at the bottom it says that you could connect to it using Bluetooth or USB. Hold the power button to turn the printer on. You will then hear the most annoying sound in your entire life.
Hi, Solo, let's print.
But don't worry, you could disable the sound. To use the stencil printer, you're going to have to download an app. The app is called Tattoo Printer, and it is on iOS and Android, and it is free, and I'll leave a link to it down in the video description. Because the app is free, you could actually download it right now and test it out and try it before you even buy this printer. You can use the app on your phone or on a tablet. I am using an iPad for this demonstration. When you go to add a photo to the app, it will automatically ask you to connect to the printer through Bluetooth. Select the printer to connect. To print your image, it's very simple. You just take your stencil paper, you take the onion paper, which is the light colored, transparent yellow paper in the middle, you take that out, and that is garbage. You then actually rip off the yellow paper on the back of the stencil paper. You don't do that with all stencil printers. This is a new step, so some people might miss this, but you're going to want to rip that piece of paper off as well. You then want to put the stencil paper into the top of the stencil printer like how I have it. As soon as that stencil paper goes inside of the printer will automatically start sucking it up and locking it in place. You can print any image off using this app, but the app also has a lot of pre-made designs inside of it. But just for this example, we're going to print this cock-a-doodle-doo right here. And then click the print button at the top, select your print density settings, which means how dark you want it to print on your stencil paper, and click print. And then your stencil printer will activate, pulling your stencil paper through, printing the design on the paper, making the stencil for you. And bada bing, bada boom, it's that easy. And it captured all the details in the design that we would be looking for. You would then cut the stencil out, you would shave and clean your client, then you would use a stencil applicator like Stencil Stuff or Nico Hurtado anchored stencil solution, and then you would apply the stencil to the skin. Now let's add our own image that we designed and push the stencil printer to the limit. I think we'll go with a semi-realistic wolf as an example. We can pinch and zoom to change the size that we want the image to be printed off as. Or if we click the setting in the bottom left-hand corner, we could change the size to anything we would like. There's also some editing that you can do throughout the app. where you can change the grayscale, sharpness, contrast, saturation, and brightness. You can also apply some different sketch filters to your design, which will help outline your design for you, making it easier to print off. They are continuously adding new features to this app, like this 3D model feature where you can see your tattoo on a 3D model before you even print it off. They're always adding these new features, and the app is free, so I highly suggest you guys download it and check out all these features for yourself. A new feature that they added that they did not have the last time I used this app is this feature right here, where you could choose between a default design or a realistic design. If the image you are printing is just a simple or complex line drawing, then use the default setting. But if your image is more realistic and has shading in it and hair texture and stuff, then use the realistic setting. On the left is a picture of the wolf that I printed using just the default setting. In the center is a picture of the wolf that I used the realistic setting with normal density. And then on the right, I used high density realistic setting, and I got the best result. The nice thing about using an iPad to print off the stencil is that you can also use other third-party apps like Procreate and Ghostline to stencil your design, and then you can import them back into the tattoo printer app and then print them off using this printer. On the left is an image that I stenciled using an app called Ghostline. And on the right is just printing the image directly standard how it was right off the printer. The image printed off good just on its own, but sometimes you get more detail using third-party apps. Here's a fine line design that I printed off, and it captured all the details. I was very impressed that it was able to capture every single dot in this dot work mandala. This stencil turned out all right, but this design is definitely way more complex than how I should be printing it off on this printer. A design like this on any stencil printer should probably be outlined first. It still did pretty good for what it was. And then of course, everyone's going to want to see script printed out on this. And I already know I'm going to get at least one comment on this. I am using the app Procreate to design this script. Now, while this stencil is printing, let me just remind you guys that 85% of people that get this far in the video are not subscribed to my channel. So please click the subscribe button and like this video, and now let's check on the stencil. The only issue is probably the thinnest script, but even that is still very legible. Now, let me give you my final thoughts on this printer. Do I think that this printer could become your #1 stencil printer in your studio? And the answer is yes. I think that if you have multiple artists in your studio, this stencil printer would work perfect for you. Not only would it be good as your primary stencil printer, it would also be good as your traveling tattoo convention stencil printer because it's wireless. In fact, if I did not think that this stencil printer was good, I wouldn't have wasted my time with this entire video. I have so many stencil printers. I have at least 10 stencil printers. Why would I need another one? Why would I want another one? My current stencil printer in my tattoo studio is an inkjet printer, and it works pretty good, but when it doesn't work good, it is horrible. It will jam paper. You'll get a bunch of print lines and stuff. It is a complete nightmare. I literally go through at least 2 or 3 inkjet printers per year, and those are a couple $100s per printer. And then the ink for the printer is a couple $100s also. It adds up to thousands of dollars per year just for one inkjet printer running in my studio. So I primarily originally got this as a backup printer for when my inkjet printer fails. And I've just been liking it so much that I've been using it every single day, especially now as I'm going to tattoo conventions more often. And for some reason with this printer, it is so much easier to switch Bluetooth between iPads. Like me and the other artists at my studio, we can all use this at the same time. I don't know why or how, but the other printers that use the same app and everything that came out, for some reason you can't do that. But with this printer, it is very easy to have multiple artists use it at one time. Every time I make a stencil printer video, I get a couple questions down below where people are asking if they could connect it to their computer to print it instead of using a cell phone or iPad or app or something to print off of. And I'll be completely honest. Get a cell phone and print right off your cell phone, man. What are you guys doing? It says right on the back of the stencil printer, it says Bluetooth plus USB. I tried connecting the Bluetooth from my computer directly to it. It could not find it for some reason. I don't know why. But then I connected it through USB, and then I had that driver issue, but I'm sure I'll be able to figure it out. I'm sure you guys are able to do it. If not, just contact CNC Tattoo Supplies or Stigma directly, and they should be able to help you with all that. Or just print using your cell phone or an iPad like a normal tattoo artist would do. As always, I am Adam Dark Lord on YouTube, Instagram, and sometimes on TikTok. I have to say that because some people have been stealing my videos. If you guys have any questions on the stencil printer, leave them down below and I will help you guys as much as I can. Take care. Peace out. Bye-bye.